Okay, I'm gonna make a killer tier list, and this is gonna be. Here's the definitions of each tier. This is like Giga is like the most fun I have playing DBD. Hooray is like I really like going against this killer. Fun is obviously like yeah I'm up for going against this killer. Ethical is more of like the killer's power is not necessarily fun, but it's at least balanced, or it's at least an amusing spectacle. Mid is that the killer's power is not usually fun, and that the counterplay can be a tad frustrating at times. Boring is the killer's kit is just boring and just either has very little or no interaction in chase, or it actively incentivizes the killer to not chase, i.e., Legion. Um, Shit is that the killer is strong and has very little counterplay. And then go next is you're just not. I don't even want to play against this killer. I want to die as fast as possible and go to the next match. The killer's kit is just so strong, and the counterplay is you know there's little or no counterplay. So we're gonna start off with the Spirit, who I am gonna go next immediately. I hate going against Spirit. Um, Maybe it's just me, but the sound I could just never. I don't know what it is. I can never pinpoint it. Maybe it's just a skill issue, but I hate Spirit. Hate going against her. Hate Cherry Blossom. Go next. I hate Spirit. Sadako will probably go in ethical because grabbing tapes isn't really fun. The M1 chases are still fun. I mean M1 chases are just fun by nature. I think that's the way the game was designed to be. So, but her additive power of the tapes and the condemn and all that's not fun. So she's just gonna go in ethical because I don't think her shit's too busted. Trapper's boring. Place a trap. Just shut down the tile. Very little interaction in chase. Not fun. Myers, I think he's gonna go in mid because his powers. It can be fun to like try and deny him juice and still like try and make a good tile. Like you're trying to plotting this course of how you're gonna like deny him stalk, but also make it to a tile where you can loop him reasonably. Um, that's kind of fun, but it's always frustrating when he's like 99. I was like, there's only so much you can do against that kind of power because you get 99 off someone else and just come insta down you and stupid shit like that. So yeah, he's gonna go in mid. Clown. I think boring or shit. I think probably just boring. Yeah, I just put clown and boring because yeah, there's not much interaction with those stupid speed up, slow down. It's just boring. Um, Demogorgon. I think Demogorgon just goes in ethical. Is the shred fun? It can be. On certain tiles it can it's just a zoning tool. But on other tiles, I'll put Demogorgon in fun. I'll put Demogorgon in fun. Even though he does zone, it's still pretty fun most of the time. Um, Legion, boring. Get out of here. I hate you. uh, Ghostface mid. Reveal mechanic super frustrating. I get it. It's frustrating when Ghostface gets revealed behind a wall, but I don't know. I hate Ghostface. And then it's an insta down. Just not fun. Uh, Not fun and frustrating, but it's not like super boring. That's why he's going there. Doctor. So he can deny throwing pallets, vaulting, stuff like that. I hate the madness snapping out of it. But is it that strong and is it that frustrating? No. So I think I'm just gonna put Doctor in the ethical tier. Like I'll take a Doctor basically any day over this bullshit down here. Billy. Now if the Billy is really good, you're fucked. You're just gonna lose. Um, but um, it is at least a spectacle, right? Like Billy, watching a good Billy is just so impressive. Every time I see a really good Billy, he does the curves right every time, and just even if I'm getting shit on, I can't help but admire um, admire. Now, maybe eventually I'll get tired of it. Maybe eventually I'll bump into enough good Billies, so I'll be like, alright, I just want to go next. I just want out of this match. But for now, I still get some of those Billies who are not good, and you still have a high stakes chase. So it can go. I mean, honestly, Billy could be in here, but since there's so many like really, really cracked Billies, and he's really strong, I mean, I'm just gonna put him in here. Wraith's fun. Enough counterplay, enough fakes. You're always taking a gambit. Is he actually uncloaking? Do I actually throw the pallet? Do I just throw the pallet and then or do I need to just keep vaulting it, or is he actually gonna uncloak? There's plenty of counterplay there. That's fun. It's pretty fun. Plague, it's frustrating. Not necessarily a fun power, and it's frustrating. The counterplay is frustrating because a lot of the counterplay is out of your like Myers and Oni, which we'll get to. A lot of the counterplay is out of your hands. It's up to your team to do the counterplay correctly. Dredge. Dredge is kind of mid, maybe? Is the counterplay to him frustrating? Counterplay to him is usually hold W. I'm just gonna put Dredge in the ethical tier because yeah, he can teleport, but he's kind of limited. He's very limited, and he's got a little bit of everything, but he's just very limited. So he's pretty ethical. The counterplay to him is not exceptionally fun because you're just basically moving from loop to loop a lot of the time. So yeah, I'll just put him in ethical. He's not like super overpowered or anything or boring, but he's not necessarily fun. Nurse, go next. Obvious. Is the Hag shit, or I think the Hag is just boring because like the Hag isn't like super strong, right? Especially against Swift. So I think the Hag is just boring. I think I'm okay with Hag just being in boring tier. Yeah. Nurse, go next. Not Nurse. Twins, go next. Pig. Let me think here. Okay, so the head traps are boring. The head traps power is mid. But the dash is kind of fun. So what do I do with Pig since she has like two separate pieces of her kit? One that's kind of boring and one that's kind of boring and can be really unethical, and then the other one's pretty fun. I think I'll just put Pig in here. Stealth killers can be sometimes frustrating, but for the most part, like a free hit because they snuck up on you or whatever is not that big of a deal. Yeah, I'll put Pig in fun. Like the very bottom of fun. Wesker, the first Giga tier. Now, Wesker, he's pretty strong, but he's also like really fun to watch, right? Like I feel like the chases are just really fun. You can do hug text, but there is still counterplay to even some of his strongest shit. Just like if he's hug teching, if you think he's gonna hug tech, you just kind of pull away from the tile. I don't know. I think Wesker is one of the most fun killers to go against the entire game. Every time I go against Wesker, I'm like, good. Like I'm glad it's a Wesker. He can get across the map pretty quick, but like there's also limits to that. And he can't just immediately exhaust all your options like some of these fucking killers can. So Wesker's really fun. He's strong, but he's fair, and there's still counterplay for the most part. Sometimes you'll be in a dead zone and you're not. But any killer can get you in a dead zone. So, anyway, artist is artist shit. Ooh, I don't know how to. I feel like I haven't seen a really good artist in a long time. I've seen maybe one or two in the past month, but they weren't like absolutely cracked. Do I just put her in mid? She's really strong though. But there is some counterplay. You can hold W. The counterplay is boring though. The counterplay is not fun. Is it frustrating to go against her? Do I just put her in ethical? It's not. It's not fun, but it's kind of balanced because you can just hold W. It's not really entertaining. We'll put artist in the ethical tier, the very bottom of it. Put doctor over there. Yeah. I think I put demo in the bottom of the fun tier. Okay. These guys I don't really care about. They're just boring. I think I'm okay with that because there is counterplay. Maybe not against like a really. It's been a long time since I've seen a really good artist, so I think I'm good with that. Pyramid Head. Okay, so I'm thinking. What do we got here? Killer's Kit is not usually fun. I think ethical. It can be fun if he's just a pyramid head who's just like taking wild shots. You know, he's like trying to shoot you through walls and stuff. But if he uses it to zone, it's not as fun. I'll just put him in ethical. Like maybe a step above all that. Knight. Is the counterplay to Knight? Well, hold on. Killer's Kit can have interesting and fun counterplay. Is the Knight fun? Is the Knight boring? Oh. I think Knight might just be boring or mid. There is a little bit of counterplay, like, because you can just, like, walk up to the pallets, right? And then the guard will go up to a down pallet. And he will... There's a little bit of counterplay, so I'm just going to put him in mid. Definitely don't like... I'm not excited to see the Knight, but I'm not like, you know? We're going to put him in mid. Skull Merchant. Is Skull Merchant fun now? Because her chases are very normal now. She gets stealth. She can set up a drone at the tile to hinder and get a hit on you. Is she fun? Is she frustrating? I think maybe Skull Merchant is, funnily enough, going to go in the ethical tier. Because, like, she's not, like, busted. Like, she's very, very run-of-the-mill with her power. I'm never, like, upset to see a Skull Merchant anymore. We'll put Skull Merchant above Dredge, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Because you just run to the next tile, sort of, but you can't teleport. She does get stealth. Yeah, I think she just goes in ethical. Nemesis. Oh, man. The amount of dodging its tentacle and, you know, looping and greeting the pallet on the short loop over and over. Faking the windows. I just love going against Nemesis. The one thing that gets frustrating is his zombies on indoor maps. That's like the only thing about his power that's even remotely frustrating. With Wesker, it's having to spray in the hinder if he's tunneling you or whatever. But there's still so much. If you're getting tunneled by Wesker, you're probably having a good time. At least you're just having a non-stop chase. Like. Unless of course you're just like in some shitty dead zone or you're like in basement or something, then yeah, that sucks. But these two, I'm always having fun when I'm being chased by these two, like almost unequivocally. This might be a hot take, but I actually really like going against this guy. Um, Obviously, some tiles are really bad against him. Some are pretty good against him. Usually, if you're paying attention, you can make it to a strong tile against him and have an actual good chase and have fun. Again, faking, greeting pallets, all kinds of counterplay, all kinds of like mind games, trying to track, trying to read. I think I'm okay with putting Trickster in the hooray tier. I'm usually having fun in a Trickster game, unless he's camping, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, Larry. Singularity. Go next. These guys usually, if somebody's picking a Singularity, they're very, very good at zone control. They're very, very good at knowing where to set their cameras, and he is just incredibly strong when you know what you're doing. So yeah, go next. Xeno. I love going against Xeno now. It took me a while to learn how to use the turrets and all that. Um, but now that I know where to place them and all that, it's really annoying when your teammates don't know and they put turrets in really stupid spots. Like that's frustrating. But I mean, it's not like Myers or Plague where they're active where their teammates are actively sabotaging you. They're just kind of doing something suboptimally. And a lot of the times you can still potentially drag him by that turret, even if it's not the best turret. So I'm gonna go ahead and hot take. Xenomorph is actually fun now, for me. Maybe that's a hot take. I don't know. I have fun going against Xenomorph. Chucky. I'm gonna put Chucky in the shit tier, just because I hate how tiny he is. What is it? Killer's is quite strong and has very little counterplay. Yeah, I mean Chucky does have counterplay, but I hate it, and he's still really strong. Yeah, is he stronger than Spirit? Is he in the go next year? Part of me wants to do this. Part of me wants to do this. But Hag really isn't that strong. She's only strong in solo queue. The solo queue obliterator. I don't know. I think this is probably okay. It's probably okay to put Chucky in the shit tier. I would have way less problems with Chucky if he wasn't so short. If he couldn't hide so easily on like any tile. He is 110, but even still, Hag's 110. Spirit's 110. Chucky's strong. I feel like. Oni's going in mid just because it's frustrating when your teammates aren't healing and they're doing gens, they're doing stupid stuff, and he's getting his power. His power's really strong. I mean, his power does have some counterplay, but it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. Deathslinger. Is he ethical or is he mid? I think he's probably ethical. Is Deathslinger fun? Do I have fun in my Deathslinger match? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do, but like a really, really good Deathslinger, I feel like just completely craps all over. Craps all over me. And he's got really good zoning. Is Deathslinger 115? Hold on. I think he is. Is he 110? Hold on. I don't play Deathslinger enough, obviously. He is 110. Huh. Okay. Is he fun? I'm usually not having too much fun against Deathslinger. But the weird thing is I have fun against Huntress. Why is it so different? Why is my experience with Huntress and Deathslinger so different? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and try and rationalize. I'm just going to put... He's ethical. He's not, like, super strong. Yeah, he's going in ethical tier. Like, right around Pyramid Head. Unknown. Unknown's fun. Unknown's a fun killer. I have a good time playing against Unknown most of the time. Sometimes it sucks when you bump into his clone on accident, but, it is what it is. We'll put him right there. I think Xeno's actually more fun than Demo. And probably more fun than Unknown, too. Yeah. Go next. Vecna. Vecna go in mid? Is the counterplay really all that frustrating? It's not that frustrating. Once you learn what to do against each one of his things. Is he an ethical? Yeah. Put him right there. Maybe put him right there. Dracula, go next. I hate going against Dracula. He's bullshit. Houndmaster, shit tier. Don't like Houndmaster. Don't like getting bit by the doggy. Definitely a very strong killer. There is some counterplay, just like Chucky, but still hate it. Pinhead. Is he frustrating? He can be. He can be, especially if your teammates don't know what the fuck they're doing, like they're picking up the box injured and shit like that. But, I mean, that's like a skill issue, right? Pinhead's okay. I have fun, like, I feel like there's a reasonable amount of things you can do, especially against his M2. And if people aren't just absolutely, it's kind of like Pig, honestly. Pinhead's a lot like Pig in my book, where he his side objective is more annoying, but his power isn't that strong, and it's fun because it has counterplay. Yeah, yeah, that feels right. Actually, I do have fun playing against Pinhead. Again, this is all contingent on the secondary objectives not being absolutely not absolutely going to shit, which they can, and that's where that makes him instantly go down to the mid tier because it's frustrating when your teammates aren't managing that objective well. But yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. So yeah. Bubba, he's gonna go in this tier for sure. I love going against Bubba. He's definitely more fun than Trickster. There's very high stakes chases. Um, you definitely have to read him. You have to be too careful. You don't want to throw every single pallet, so you gotta play it a little risky. You gotta play a little risky against Bubba, and that's part of the fun is playing a little risky and trying to get away with shit that maybe you shouldn't try to get away with, but you do. So I don't know. I for some reason that is just so much fun to me. I love Bubba. I wish I had more Bubba games where he's not camping. If he's camping, he ruins all the fun, obviously. But you know, Tokyo Ghoul. Pretty much go next. I hate going against Tokyo Ghoul. Don't like this new killer. I don't know why him and Blight get to be 115, but these killers are 110. Like, what? Okay, sure. Whatever. Anyway, go next. Hate it. Freddy. Is Freddy fun or simply ethical? His chase power is pretty boring. So it's like Skull Merchant in that regard. It's not as bad as Clown. I feel like he goes somewhere in the ethical tier, where I just kind of respect it. Like, I respect the pick. Anytime I see one of these, I kind of respect the pick. I'm like, oh, okay. These, I still respect these as a pick. I hate going against them. Or maybe not hate, I just get frustrated. These I hate going against. Anything down here I just hate going against. Freddy's, yeah, well, that seems fair for Freddy. And then Huntress is going to go up here. Huntress or Bubba? I think maybe the difference with the Huntress and the Deathslinger is how fast they can shoot out their projectile. I feel like the Deathslinger gets his gun up a lot faster, and that makes it a lot harder to greed pallets and to make make the correct play at a short loop, a short tall loop. I don't know. I'm not going to try and dive too deep into it, but I have a lot more fun playing against Huntress than I do against Deathslinger. Also, when you see Huntress do orbitals, attempting orbitals or getting an orbital, that's just a spectacle. You gotta love that. Same with the Trickster. If they're just trying to like shoot, it's funny to watch. And they're once you're actually in chase with them, it's fun usually too. So yeah, there you go. Okay, now I have to kind of decide where everyone goes in terms of like ranking. I think actually these secondary objective killers are probably at the bottom of the fun tier because I can really that has the potential to ruin the fun. Demo, his zoning isn't that strong. His zoning is probably weaker than Xeno's, but it's less contingent. Like, Xeno can get burned out of his zoning power. So yeah, I think this is a fair placement. Unknown, usually pretty fun. Is this a good placement for Wraith? I think so. Yeah, I'm good with that. And then we got this right here. Maybe Sadako isn't all that ethical. No, I think she's way more ethical now. Now that the Blood Moon is over. And that she can only lock in 3 Condemn, and you don't have the slug strategy anymore. I think Sadako, a very ethical pick. I'll put Freddy over the Skull Merchant, because he doesn't force you to hold W. I think we actually put him above Doctor, too. A really, really good Doctor is really strong, but I think this is... Okay, I'm going to put him below Artist. Mid. Yeah, definitely at the bottom of mid. The most acceptable mid to probably go against is probably Myers. And then maybe Knight after that. Or maybe, wait. Maybe Ghostface. And then Knight. Knight can be kind of annoying. And then Plague. Because Plague can snowball. These two really snowball quite quickly. They're kind of annoying to go against, too. When they have their power, they're really strong. Okay, who's the most boring? Hag. Legion's pretty boring. Clowns. These are all very boring killers. Right? I feel like I did right there. Hag maybe being the most. Is Hag the most? No, I think actually Hag is probably the least boring. Clown is probably the most boring. At least Legion has the option to chase you. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Clown's the most boring. Legion being the least. Okay. I think I'm okay with this right here. Is Chucky more shit? I think Chucky's more shit than Houndmaster. The most shit killer to go against, I think, is going to be... Is Dracula more annoying? I think Dracula can be more annoying than Tokyo Ghoul. Yeah. Twins getting slugged is really annoying. Spirit. Yeah, I think I'm good with this. I think this is the most boring killer in the game. There we go. This is it. This is the list. I think I'm pretty happy with this. These are killers I'll definitely play against. I'm happy to play against these killers most of the time. These killers usually pretty fun. These two are kind of contingent on their secondary objective not being completely fumbled. Yeah, I like this list. Yeah, okay, that's it. That's the list. That's it. That's perfect, and you can't disagree with it.